Can high-speed roller coasters give you a concussion?
Well, the state of New Jersey says it's never happened, but a Kane in Your Corner investigation finds it has. And some doctors say it happens more than you'd think. So is it bad record keeping or a concussion cover-up? Walt Kane with an investigation you'll see only on 12.
It's a big game for the Neptune High Scarlet Flyers, and especially sophomore Sophie Yevchek. For nearly a year, she was sidelined by a severe concussion.
I got really dizzy. I had pretty bad headaches. Can't watch TV. You can't read. You can't go on your phone. I had light sensitivity, noise sensitivity, and then I was really tired. I felt like all I did was nap and eat.
Sophie wasn't hurt on the court. The injury happened as she was riding Nitro, a roller coaster at Six Flags Great Adventure.
It was right on the first drop when I blacked out.
She was, a high-performing athlete that went from, 7 days a week of sports activity and training to nothing.
Sophie's mom says the accident was surprising because her daughter never hit her head.
Her brain inside her skull just got jostled.
How common are concussions on high-speed rides? According to one recent medical study, the risk is extremely low. But a Kane in Your Corner investigation finds there may be more concussions than the studies show.
My temples, almost feels like they're pulsing.
Nikki Mahalik says she got a concussion riding the Joker at Great Adventure. So did this woman, Kelsey Carrion.
Pretty much blacked out. For about 30 seconds, I lost my vision completely.
In fact, in the past 3 years, at least 5 people called us to report getting concussions on roller coasters at Six Flags alone.
There is a significant risk, and people should be cognizant about that.
Neurologist Scott Pello says he's treated several patients for roller coaster-induced concussions. He compares the G-forces on high-speed thrill rides to the kind of hits football players take.
The force of impact becomes so great, it exceeds what that amount of fluid in between the skull and the brain can withstand.
We wanted to know exactly how many concussions there had been on New Jersey thrill rides, and it should have been easy to find out. We're one of the only states where all ride-related injuries are logged in a state database. But you know how many roller coaster-induced concussions we found since that database began in 2006? None. Not even the 5 people we already knew about. Not at Six Flags or any place else.
That's shocking. It's shocking.
Attorney Rich Grungo specializes in amusement park law.
The problem, as you have found, is that there are gaps or holes in the reporting system in the state of New Jersey.
A spokesperson for Six Flags insists we provide all required information to the state, but says some of the situations you cited were never reported to us. Problem is, the evidence indicates otherwise. Sophie's mom and Kelsey exchanged emails with Six Flags. And we have paperwork documenting the other cases, like internal accident reports, even a lawsuit claiming a serious brain injury. Again, we found none of those injuries in the state database.
The fact that there's not one report of a concussion is pretty startling in light of what you can imagine to be the volume of riders in the state of New Jersey.
But even when parks do report accidents promptly, experts say a lot of concussions will just not get reported, simply because a guest may not even realize they have one at the time.
One of the problems with concussion is we don't always see symptoms right away. It can take days or even weeks to first notice the onset of the symptoms.
Fortunately, Sophie is recovering from her concussion, but she still finds it hard to believe how dramatically her life was changed by a few hours of fun.
I thought it was just motion sickness, and then it turns into 6-7 months of whole recovery.
Doctors I spoke to say you don't have to avoid roller coasters altogether, but you should be aware of the risks, and that's especially true if you or your child have had previous concussions, especially recently. Also, they say pay attention to those height requirements. Restraints and headrests are designed for riders of a certain size. Do you have a story I need to investigate? Call 732-738-KANE. Email KaneInYourCorner@news12.com or find me on Facebook at Kane in Your Corner. And this issue is not likely to go away. In fact, the state is relaxing its amusement park accident reporting rules, so it may be harder to find out about accidents in the future. I'll talk about that in the days to come.
And you would think because these symptoms sometimes take so long to manifest themselves, it becomes more difficult, and, for both sides of this.
You may not know exactly when the injury happened, and then sometimes the parks, when they were called later, just weren't reporting it and saying, well, they didn't tell us before we left the property. But the state says you're supposed to report it even if you're told later.
Really important story. Well, thanks for bringing that to light.
Yeah, before you head to Jackson, hopefully you hook that up.